Welcome back to another episode of WWP What Wrestling Podcast. We are reviewing The Chamber, the Elimination Chamber 2019. I am The Fire, and I am joined by Desire, as Corey Graves called Sonia. This is Miguel. I'm joined by El De Niro. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've noticed that we have done quite a few Elimination Chambers at this point. Is that like... It's a weird
It's because we keep catching February, and you can't escape a chamber in February, man. It's an old saying.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to escape it at all. You're supposed to be eliminated, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Elimination Chamber. Interestingly, I probably said this before, not called that in Germany.
Yeah. What's it called there? No Escape or something?
Rage in the Cage, mate.
Rage in the Cage.
It's not Rage in the
Nah, I know it's not.
Although that's a cool name. I quite like that.
Yeah.
The best place to rage would be in a cage.
There's, isn't there an MMA? Oh no, that's Cage Warriors. Yeah, well, do you think that the Elimination Chamber should not be in February anymore?
I'm starting to think that
it shouldn't be at all.
No, maybe they should just change it and maybe have the Chamber first and then have the Rumble.
Yeah.
So push the Rumble to like early Feb and have this like mid or second week of January or something.
Yeah, that was the New Year's Revolution.
Yes, they did that.
Pretty much the best one. Well, no, the Goldberg one is the best one, obviously.
Yeah,
no further discussion warranted.
Those New Year's Resolution pay-per-views were like, it made sense because it was like, as I recall, whatever brand didn't have a winner, they would then all have a match to determine the number one contender. Because I find it weird that you can lose at the Rumble and potentially still go into WrestleMania as the champion. I mean, that's been happening for years. It's not like a new thing.
Yeah, I mean, you had The Rock beat Kurt Angle at No Way Out. You had The Rock beat CM Punk at No Way Out.
Yeah.
What else was there? Eddie Guerrero, of course, beating Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
It happens.
Yeah, and you're starting to see quite... Actually, that's a fair few good examples as well of times where it's just like, all these people were in the Rumble as well. Maybe apart from Eddie, I can't remember if he was. But, like, surely if maybe the person's, like, in a blood feud or something, and they're like, I couldn't be in the Rumble, so I want to be in for this. But WWE ain't got time for that, my friend.
Hell nah.
Yeah, so we get the old usual, the dream, WrestleMania, you got a dream. Are you dreaming yet? You better dream. And we go to the opening match, which is the women's tag team title match.
Yeah, I really I implore everybody to go and watch this purely for the 45 seconds of dead air when Carmella comes out. And given the rumors between her and Corey, it was one of the most awkward openings to a show I have ever seen. Did you feel that at all, or did that not cross your mind, or what was going on?
Not really, because I think also Jimmy, I'm thinking, or Jay, one of them had trouble with the police as well.
Yeah, but they didn't come out to dead air. Like, it was Carmella's music, and nobody fucking said anything for, like, 45 seconds.
She was singing her own song.
Yeah.
Which is always a cool sign, even though, she might have been the only one. No, I don't think Carmella is over, well, at least to this crowd anyways. I don't know how else it is week to week when she was doing this shit with R-Truth, but, so we have Carmella and Naomi, the Riot Squad, the Iconics, Nia Jax, and Tamina Snuka in the chambers. And then to start the match, we have Fire and Desire.
Yeah.
What is with Mandy Rose's entrance? I mean...
I like it.
I feel uncomfortable for her. There's something about it that makes me think, like, who is she? Like, is this her character? Did she push for this? Like,
I have a feeling she did push for it.
Because you see everybody else, like, they're pretty much playing a version of themselves, like...
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like,
but
Bailey's a massive dickhead backstage.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So he's ribbing the boys.
But I think, like, I mean, I don't know. Mandy Rose seems to be kind of a comic relief type character, but not... That's obviously doing her a disservice to say that, but you know what I mean? It's just... She's not Sasha Banks.
No, no, she's not. She I suppose as well. Like it helps if these girls could win because they always lose. Sonya
Yeah,
and Mandy. I think they got their first television win like in about a year. But since they came up with Paige about 2 years ago,
yeah, yeah.
um, so they've had to kind of earn their stripes. Yeah. So yeah, women's tag team titles. That's pretty big.
It's their division right now is kind of like the men's tag team division of 2001. Like lots of like there are organic teams that look like they belong together, and then there's other teams that are just forged together, but they
Mm.
still appear like organic in spirit, and it's pretty
They
good.
did a good thing by dressing alike. For example, Naomi
Yeah,
and Carmella having no previous.
yeah.
I kind of like they're both wearing green. Yeah, no. So the match, I mean, I'm not gonna talk specific spots unless they kind of stood out for me. But I thought this whole match was, again, much like the Royal Rumble, they booked to their strengths.
They really did. I actually think that Mandy and Sonya deserve so much credit for what they brought to the table because they kind of get like derided for their ability and they're kind of like the butt of all the jokes in that division, I feel.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job, and the Iconics worked really well. Like they just had that. I like everything they did was hilarious. Like
Yes, they are very funny.
when Naya was entering and she like banged on the pod, and the Iconics both just sort of screamed. That was just
Yes.
brilliant.
A lot of character on those two, like the way they're like pointing at everybody else. They, especially Billy Kay, I actually find her like to be the funniest one.
Yeah, yeah.
She's fucking hilarious, and obviously that could be a good thing or a bad thing because once they find out you're good at comedy, there's a chance you could be R-Truth or Santino or
Fucking Hornswoggle.
yeah, and he wasn't even that good at comedy, but
No, but
there
he
you
was
go.
little, and Vince McMahon fucking loves little people.
A little bastard. So yeah, there's some pretty nice spots with Mandy and Boston Hug Connection. What the fuck's up with that
I
name?
hate that name. It's ruined. It's the worst. There was a really good moment with Sonya and Liv Morgan just beating the fuck out of each other. Did you catch that? Like seriously hard
Yes,
punches and slaps and stuff.
they were going pretty hard, and also noticeable that the match didn't have like a ring general because usually they'll put like Natalia in there or something, or
Yeah.
bring back someone for these like bigger women's matches and stuff like that. But no, they just had like all the people in the ring. They probably have like the combined ring experience of like The Undertaker and I'm talking WWE. I'm not talking because obviously pretty much everyone came from the indies here.
Yeah.
Other than Sonya and Mandy, I think they came from Tough Enough. Definitely Mandy from Tough Enough. Yeah, so everyone's put their work in, but like, yeah, there wasn't. They're all new people, new characters. Oh, well, I guess they had Tamina in there, but she did so little, I didn't even pay attention to her.
They don't even mention Jimmy Snuka at all. Like,
No.
it's so funny, man. It's just this huge elephant in the room.
Who's her dad? Like, just some guy. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, did he used to be a wrestler?
Probably not.
I don't know. If it's before '83, did it really happen? If it's
Yeah.
before Hulk Hogan, did it really happen? Everyone just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, and by the way, like, no disrespect to her. I mean, I don't think she can wrestle that well or a lick, but she's been around for ages. It's like her and Alicia Fox, but Alicia Fox definitely has character for sure.
And she improved an awful lot. Like
Yeah,
Tamina's a fucking waste of space. Oh, geez,
she
that's a
can't
very
do the
harsh thing to
splash,
say,
bro.
but like, yeah, no, she's fucking brutal.
She cannot do the splash because they did the Samoan drop and she went to do the Superfly splash and she got no height. It was like a fall forward. It's like a flop.
Also, I feel really uncomfortable when she goes for it because I know how like fucking loose she is, and even like she landed on both of them, right?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was just
scary,
yeah, it was.
very scary. We get the super duper uberplex
Yeah,
with the five ladies doing the I'll do a electric chair, suplex, person on top gets murked.
that was good. Also, Bailey did a drop toe hold, and I haven't seen that move since 1999 when Raven did it.
To the chair.
Yeah,
He
but
loved
like,
that spot.
why don't they like? Where have these moves gone? Where's the drop toe hold? Where's the pendulum drop and the side Russian leg sweep and the Northern Lights suplex? Are we ever getting those back, or what's the deal?
That's a very good point. I haven't seen a I think the last person to do a Russian sweep would have been Rusev when he was heel, which made sense. You know, the Russian sweep, blah blah. No, it just seems that there's few moves in wrestling. They aren't like banned. There's just like, nah, we won't be doing that shit for it. Like Rey Mysterio does a drop toe hold technically to set up for the 619.
He does, yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's the only person I can think of. But that's like part of a sequence, not just a move that he'll do to get out of trouble, sort of thing.
Does Cesaro do it for his 619?
I don't think so. I think he just uppercuts you there.
Yeah,
Or Sheamus does the rope, the chest punches thing.
10 beats of the Boweron.
I always prompt you to say that.
Yeah, I know. Legally, I'm the only person that's allowed to say that.
Yeah, because if I said it, people would be like, "What are you trying to say about the Irish?"
What's a badgerin, you fucking...
Your own. Yeah, so basically they start telling a story, obviously, when Nia and Tamina come in, of like the big two women who are battering everybody else.
Yeah.
Eliminations kind of come left and right, really, but essentially we get a Samoa drop and then a Super Samoan drop, which eliminates, I think Liv gets eliminated like that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, they do. I think Nia did a fucking Goldberg as well at some point when she's running into Bayley and she smashed through the the little pods. Except Goldberg's one looked brutal because he actually did it to Chris Jericho, and they had like, I think it was like the fake glass, because now it seems like a plastic thing.
Yeah, now it's you can see by how much it wobbles that it's not a very fine like piece of plastic.
Yes, still sounds great, which is what's important, you know.
Yeah. Well, even if I want people to be hurt.
I want my wrestlers to be actually going through glass.
Yeah, I want physical pain, or else what's all this for?
But yeah, injuries, agony, just before WrestleMania. But yeah, it's quite nice. They also ended it with the first two teams that started it.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I also have that in my notes.
Yeah, they went the distance, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And eventually Sasha and Bayley do some sort of double team, like the backbreaker into the Bayley to belly on Sonya. 1, 2, 3. We've got new women's tag team champions, the first ever.
What about that flexible bank statement?
Which one was that?
The one that Sasha with the leg, like.
Oh, because her shoulder was fucked.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that should be its own submission with the fucking foot across the chin.
Yeah, it was fucking dope.
Hell yeah, I'm all up for that. Yeah, just be like, I will just do my finisher like this because it looks more brutal.
Yeah.
And she's quite bendy as well as Sasha.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that was awesome as well. And then after the match, we get Charlie Caruso in the ring, and she interviews Bayley and Sasha. They seemed genuinely moved by it. It was pretty cool.
I honestly didn't think so. I actually thought they were playing.
Do you think it was like, I can't say anything?
Yeah, I think they were trying really hard to be overcome with emotion. I don't know. That might, like, I'm not saying that as like a hater or anything, because that sounds like such a sour thing to say, but like I just genuinely didn't really, don't know, I didn't get it, you know?
The only reason why I'd say that's because I think either Sasha won it or she lost it to Bayley in NXT. It was when she won it. I don't think she won it from Bayley necessarily, but when she won it, I remember because they did a documentary about the Women's Revolution. Triple H came out and he kept going to Sasha like, "You're a fucking heel. Like, when you win the belt, be pissed off," and she couldn't. She just broke down crying, which made it even look better. So I give Sasha the benefit of the doubt, knowing that. Basically. Yeah.
I'm not like I don't know. I think it might just be that like I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I'm willing to concede that. It just didn't come true for me. It just didn't seem as genuine as previous.
Those sorts of moments. Yeah. Maybe they took too long as well. It kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
They took too long to kind of find their words, and Bayley was sort of like, I can't say anything. Why don't you say something?
Yeah.
And yeah, Sasha talked about how hard they worked. It was a very babyface, yay, we did it promo.
It was.
But at least they didn't just cut away after it happening. They needed to have, like, a celebration of sorts. They couldn't do the confetti because it's too early, so left it like that.
It was also kind of spoiled a little bit by, like, her speech ending with the words boss and hug connection.
Yeah. When she said it, it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
TM at the end there, with a
Yeah.
little C in the
Yeah.
corner. Did you think the right people won though?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I mean, for the first ever, like, it's a trivia question, and those two are pretty much they're the ones that I would have picked. But I will say that honestly, for me, anyone could have won it, and it wouldn't have been a surprise. But
Sure.
I think it had to be them. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, you could make an argument for anybody
You
of
could.
the maybe apart from Tamina, but you can
Yeah.
even do the old longevity, like you've been here for ages, like here's a belt sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be what I would say. And then for Mandy and Sonya, it could just be like, here's your reward for like all the losses we've given you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the Riot Squad, could have been like, listen, your main person is losing, but if we give you a win, people might believe she might be able to beat Ronda.
Yeah.
You know, if you come out and help her or something or the other. But it was, and maybe Naomi and Carmella probably like the least likely to win.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they're technically in the doghouse, because we're talking about two situations in which the male person is probably the guiltier party.
Yeah, I don't think they are, and I don't think
I
it
really
even
hope they
matters.
aren't. Yeah.
Um,
It,
like this is way different to the Enzo thing. You
yeah, or the
know?
Matt Hardy thing.
Yeah. This is like I don't like. I mean, fucking Jack Swagger got caught with weed, and then he became the world champion like 3 weeks later. So
Yeah, in the middle of his like not anti-America, anti like Mexico.
yeah.
So he had like anti-Mexican gimmick when he was "We the People," and he's like, "Oh, these Mexicans bringing all this drugs." It's like, of which I smoke most of it.
Yeah. He
I would have been like,
actually he debuted at the Bellator MMA recently. He had his first MMA match and he won.
yeah, because he was a hell of an amateur way back. He was in Oklahoma, I think.
He was an amateur wrestler though, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not like a fighter. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the guy he fought was actually up to much. I think it was one of those let's feed him to another amateur fighter and see how that goes. But yeah, whatever. I wish him well, I guess. I'm just glad
Always
he's
good to
not in
see
the
a
Fed
wrestler.
anymore.
Yeah, always good to see a wrestler doing well in a different thing, whether it's films or other sports. You know, whether it's
Yeah.
Goldberg out there on the what's it called? I was gonna say on the pitch, but it's not really a pitch when you golf, is it?
Of course.
On the fucking course, yeah, throwing men into the sea.
Throwing men into the sea. That's what it's all about.
That's what this business is all about.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, overall, like, lovely match, lovely opener, feel good ending,
Yeah.
and yeah, lots of tag teams, which, as you said, that's a good start. That'll do. Then we go to the Usos versus Shane and Miz.
Not a whole lot to say about this.
What do you think of the bromance here between Shane and fucking Miz, though?
Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of it doesn't it feel awkward? Like it feels like they're driving down a road and they don't really know where it's gonna go.
Either one of them should have turned heel by now, and I thought it was going to be the Miz because Shane took a spot at the last Saudi Arabia thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And he won the best in the world, and Miz was like, "Man, that's great. You and I should be the best in the world." It's like he's suckering him in, isn't he? No. And then they were like buds, and then the Usos did their whole shtick. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary,
they're
motherfucker.
awesome.
They're fucking great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Their body language and mannerisms, even during the match, like, they know their characters fully well.
Yeah.
And they embrace it. They're heels.
Yeah, absolutely. It's do you know what else? The Miz, since he came back in like fucking 2013 or whatever it was, he has been consistently involved in a storyline or a title chase of some sort for all that
Crazy,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he always adds a little, he reminds me, not necessarily in talent, I suppose, in longevity and in lack of being injured. He reminds me to Chris Jericho.
Yeah, same. He lacks a lot, but I know what you mean. Like what context you mean it in? Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
he didn't have the opportunity to like go wrestle in ECW and in Japan and all that stuff, so he doesn't have like the same style in the ring. But he's a very good, safe worker.
Dependable.
Doesn't injure people.
He doesn't injure people, but don't fucking jump out of the ring because he's not catching you.
No, that's not his business, mate.
He has injured a couple of people that way.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Just people plopping on the floor. That sucks.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, maybe like just take that out entirely of this. Oh, I guess the other person's moves. But either way though, yeah, he's hella dependable and consistent. Like, he announced that Maurice was pregnant as well
Yeah.
before the match. So this was basically the best of Shane again. We got to see Coast to Coast, which hit. Coast to Coast, which was then reversed into a super kick on one of the Usos. We got to see the elbow to the Spanish announce table, or
The
an announce
ratio
table.
of announcer tables being broken per Shane McMahon match is just off the fucking charts.
It is like his. So basically, I think that like rules for him don't apply in the same way with other people. So if he's backstage and he's going, I want to do a shooting star press, and I also want to do this elbow, and I also want to do all my sort of special moves in normal matches. Now it's like, who's gonna say no? Nobody. So he's allowed to do stuff that like other people probably couldn't even request in their match, because the whole like, no, this is the second card on the second match on the card. You can't just fucking put on a 30-minute Iron Man classic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they might be a little bit more lenient on that or less lenient on that, but still overall, like, Finn Balor is not allowed to have the matches that Finn Balor probably had in Japan. Same goes for AJ, same goes for Shinsuke and AJ, as we saw last year.
And Daniel Bryan.
And D-Bry, yeah, for sure. He can't go all Ring of Honor and just fucking headbutt people in the eye socket like he did with old Nigel McGuinness. But yeah, so we get the win. Super kick party, of course. Oh, many super kicks. It's just a move now. And
they got quite a few cheers.
They did, yeah. I guess they're at that point where it's like you're quite good heels, but they flip all the time. So they're more tweeners anyways, because they'll be faces if they gotta be faces. Yeah, but they won the tag team title, 6-time tag team champions. Shane looks like he's about to blow up. Oh my god, he looks so sweaty.
He does, yeah. And should we talk about the backstage segment now with him and Miz, or?
Yeah, we'll tie this up in a bow, actually. That's a good shout. Yeah, so Miz does the whole like, where were you, man? And Shane's like, oh, I can't fucking breathe.
Well, isn't
like
Miz
2 hours
like,
ago?
Miz is like, I'm sorry I let us down. And then he's like, oh, I'm so angry. And Shane is like, hey, you, fuck off.
Hey,
Go home.
Hey, buddy. Go
Get
fuck
out.
yourself, yeah. So, drop a bet, who's turning heel?
I mean, it has to be Miz, right?
He is the least likable person, but then again, it's like, I don't want to see Shane and Miz have a match.
No, but
at WrestleMania, but I think that's where it's going.
I
Unless
do not want to
they turn
see...
Shane heel. I haven't seen Shane heel in years now.
But do we want a fucking face Miz versus the Authority angle? Like, ugh.
The Hollywood guy takes on the corporate machine.
I would...
You are it!
I would just sooner fucking watch TNA.
Yes, current TNA.
Any TNA.
Any TNA. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what they go with this one. I'm also thinking it's Miz that turns heel.
It's just it's just like, it's so obvious that you just have to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And they I mean, they could go either way with the whole like announcement of him being a daddy. They could be like, hey, Shane attacks him. He's like, see, you weren't focused. You're too busy thinking about that kid that you're about to have. And then they do the other way around where Miz is like, for some reason, I wanted my child to see us as tag team champions when he or she was born. Bit of a weird dream to have.
I wanted my kid to see everything a partner shouldn't be. That's why I chose you, you motherfucker.
You 50-year-old fuck. Yeah, we also get an advertisement for Fastlane. Not enough pay-per-views before WrestleMania, really.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say that I said last year, and I'll say it again. Fastlane is not the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. The final stop on the road to WrestleMania is WrestleMania. That's how final stops work. Fucking train going to London Euston doesn't have its final stop at King's Cross.
No, you get off at Fastlane. You have to walk to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's... Get the
WrestleMania's down the road, buddy. Oh, is there any chance of this train, bus, whatever? No, you're walking there. Make sure you stop by all the SmackDowns and Raws and that beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah, we may or may not be reviewing that one. We'll see.
We haven't decided. Yeah.
Yeah, life's too short, man. Can't be Can't be caught in these. There's WCW to watch. Can't be caught in the present product when the past is so much fucking better sometimes. We also get an interview with Lashley and Leo Rush.
Leo Rush.
I kept thinking his name was Bobby Leo as well.
You could
Bobby
also
Lashley
call him
and
Rio
Bobby
Lush, and it would make just as much sense.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley's not allowed to talk. If you noticed.
Oh yeah, he's never been allowed to talk, really.
No. Well, because they say your name is Finley, and you love to fight.
That's true.
I say your name is Finley, and you're a bastard.
You're a bastard.
Look that up, folks. The promo way back from SmackDown, the glory days.
Greatest time ever.
The Booker T, King Booker days, where Finley main evented every SmackDown and William Regal main evented every other SmackDown, and it was weird. So anyways, so we have Lashley and Leo versus Finn Balor.
Stupid idea for a fucking match to do it.
Yes, for the IC title, sorry, yeah.
So fucking stupid. But you know what? There's not even a lot to say. This match was kind of meh. It's always nice to see Finn, but the last few moments of it were super impressive and good to watch. So,
do you want to hear my notes for this match?
Yes.
Finn Balor went from fighting White Lashley to fighting Black Lesnar.
Oh wow.
It's good.
It's really good, yeah.
It's like some deep philosophy shit.
It should have been a tweet.
Yeah. Oh, do you reckon they would have scrolled down at the bottom when they did the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Appears there, WWP. He's doing this now. So they could have gone a different way with this, in my opinion, where they could have had Finn wrestle two completely different types of matches, where he's more power-based against one guy, and then he's more speed-based, I guess, versus Lashley. But they kind of went they're going to tag in and out and take control sort of thing.
I prefer what they did, right? Because it made Finn's win seem way more impressive, because he got to showcase all this pace and summon all this energy. But also, just one thing that I took away from it was that is the first ever instance of that I've seen in real life, and I've done it on SmackDown versus Raw, no matter how many times you do it when you're younger. There's always that match in the story mode where you're either in a handicap match, or it's a special guest referee, or it's a triple threat or whatever, and that's what you got to do. You got to knock people over, get outside the ring, fly around the place, and it was a very relatable win.
It was, yeah. He took the video game route, actually. Maybe that's why you were like, I've seen this all before. I played it years ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember that in those games? If you Irish whipped someone to the entrance, they wouldn't stop running until they hit a stopping point.
Oh, I really miss that was so much better than the sort of forced and slow underwater realism they have in it now.
Yeah, I enjoy the graphics. I enjoy the people you can make, the entrances, but I have no time for gameplay because, these SmackDown vs. Raw, the PS2 and then sort of early Xbox PS3, you could switch off the stamina and you're fucking golden at that point. If you want, especially fighting other people or putting the game on a higher difficulty, you can just go all out and do all the moves and go mental in this fucking banter. And on the new ones, I don't even play the new ones that much because, I'm not from this era.
Yeah.
I'm a man from the past.
You have a PS2.
They proudly, proud PS2, matter of fact. No, they have a thing where you can only reverse a certain amount of moves.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of it's gamey now.
Yeah, it's they lost the arcade aspect, but I think that they couldn't be arcadey forever because I'm sure people would complain about that. But I feel like there's a middle ground where you can hit both, and it whoever makes the games now just hasn't hit that. THQ obviously they're not in existence, I think, since from about 5-6 years now. They kind of fizzled. But yeah, good to see Finn with a belt after losing at the Rumble. Does feel kind of a step back, because I don't know they're going to figure from at WrestleMania, because last year you opened the show going for the Intercontinental title with Miz and Seth Rollins, so I don't see much difference this time. I think he'll open the show this year as champion.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah?
Yeah, like,
You can't put everyone in the main event. You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's people who have to be figured out. But he's one of those where you think, like, his time is coming. But, and Easter
Look,
thought the Rumble, but,
they gave him the belt and he couldn't draw, so they took him out. Just kidding. He had 24 hours to try and draw with
His
that
fucking
belt.
shoulder couldn't draw, mate. Couldn't handle the pressure,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
That's funny because it also literally couldn't draw because of the amount of strain that it was put under.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Couldn't draw a fucking picture, mate.
He's got the scars to prove it.
Yeah.
We now get a promo by Charlotte. I thought this promo was fucking great. Heel Charlotte all the time.
I was from this moment on, I watched with my girlfriend, so I didn't hear all the commentary and stuff like that properly. I mean, I heard most of it, but I
Did she say any funny remarks, or she's just like, "Oh, you into this shit"?
It was interesting. Like, she's kind of into it. She's a huge Ronda Rousey fan, so.
Came at the right time.
This was the right moment. Yeah, and also there was a sign in the background that said, "Why does no one have an innie?" Did you see that?
No.
Or sorry, why does no one have an outie? It said.
Well, like a belly button.
Yeah, I guess so.
There you go. Some people have paid attention. Maybe Corbin does, and that's why he wears the barista outfit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but yeah. I read that sign, and I was like, Jesus, that's true.
Yeah.
No one has one.
Bro, that's such a far cry from our Raw episode, Horny 420.
Yeah.
Or horny 24/7, not horny when you're baked.
Yeah.
Horny 24/7. Such a long way away.
Deborah has Venus envy.
Yeah, vagina.
Yeah.
Vagina. Oh, vagina and I should probably call her properly.
I can't believe that's the fucking context you want to spring from that to talk.
That's not a good segue. That's a dodgy segue. Speaking of which, yeah, DX are going in the Hall of Fame, buddy.
They sure are. Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Not Rick Rude though. Not cool.
Yeah.
All he did was be on. Is he in it already? He should be. If he's not, it's a fucking travesty, that Hall of Fame. I'm calling it now. Now it's a travesty. Not when fucking Coco Beware was put in it.
Or fucking Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, or Vince McMahon's old driver. This guy called James Dudley. Seriously, he was like Vince McMahon's dad's driver and then became Vince's driver.
I don't have a problem with the Hall of Fame. Like, I think, did I...
It's fake, isn't it?
Did I dream this, or did I make a video on the WWP channel about Kid Rock going into the Hall of Fame and it being
how amazing it was?
Yeah.
And how they use like the shittest picture of him, where
Yeah.
he looks older, obviously, from what he used to, and he still dresses pretty much the same, which is always a problem when you carry on the same outfit as you sort of turn 40 or 50. And like you've got the sort of gaunt face, because the man parties like a rock star. That's what makes it look worse, I think.
Yeah.
It's like Chris Jericho now. He's trying to look like Chris Jericho of like 98 or something.
Chris Jericho just wants to be John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I saw him wearing a fedora with his long hair.
Jesus.
Oh, you are made for Reddit, Chris.
Yeah.
Reddit is waiting for you. Even though when he comes out like in his wrestling gear as like this new Clockwork Orange weird, don't know if you've seen some of his Japan stuff like clips or matches.
I have, yeah. He's
yeah, it's pretty funky.
Yeah, it's interesting, yeah.
It's different, yeah, it's interesting. Couldn't tell you more because I don't watch it properly, but his new catchphrase was calling everyone a fuckface, which in Japan you're just allowed to say apparently.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. Everyone's just a fuckface, like announcers, fans, you fuckface.
At least it's not like something worse.
No, he's not. He's not going that route. We all know what that route would be. So yeah, Charlotte's promo, yeah, she basically just said that she deserves to be in WrestleMania, and they recapped the Becky Lynch stuff from Monday. The past Monday, where Vince McMahon suspended her for 60 days.
Yeah, I love how many nerds are triggered by Vince suspending someone. Like, lads, she's going to be at WrestleMania. Would you fucking
fine.
Relax? Have you not seen wrestling before? You absolute fucking just sweaty nerds. Like,
Do you
Jesus.
remember? Do you remember sweaty marks?
Yeah.
Yes, many. Do you remember when in '98 when like Vince had the feud with Austin, and it was a match between the Undertaker versus Kane with Austin as the ref, and Vince was like, if you don't count either one of them as champion, because the title he vacated the title, you'll be fired on the spot. And then they had
very
that.
vaguely.
They had, this is very specific. This is like sort of, do you remember the Deadly Games sort of Survivor Series '98 tournament where they had
Yeah.
Mick Foley losing the screw job and The Rock won the title and they're still vacant? But like in this match, at the end, Vince McMahon was like, oh, Austin, you didn't count to 3. Screw you, you're fired. If that happened now, you'd see rumor is Stone Cold going to fucking All Elite Wrestling.
Austin, yeah. Oh my god, man.
Will Austin be going back to WCW? Will he go into Paul Heyman's ECW? And people are like, Vince McMahon does not respect Austin. He doesn't respect a good wrestler. He's the best damn thing going. And then, the same thing with Becky, you get the hipster people that go, overrated. Well, no, she's like the most over person in the company. Like, there's nothing to be overrating. There's, like, yeah, she's not fucking, probably the best wrestler on the planet, but like, nor was Austin, nor was Hogan, nor was the most popular people. Like, why is it that she gets, if you're not good at one thing, or if you're good at one thing, you must also be good at another?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But yeah, no, the internet's been weird about that, and they're doing the whole like, oh, finally Vince wakes up to this. It's like, well, we are going to WrestleMania. Like, what better time would be to wake up to this, right?
I know. They are just, like, anyway.
Yeah, I had to stay off Twitter for a while, wrestling Twitter for that one. Yes, Becky chants when Charlotte's cutting the promo, and Charlotte is at ringside as Triple R, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, comes out to face Ruby Riott.
Ronda Riott.
Ruby at many R's. Ruby Riott, she was there for about 2 minutes, took a Samoan drop, got caught in the armbar. Some shit happened. I literally stood up and went to do something, and I turned around and the match was finished.
Yeah, it was a squash match.
All about the post-match. Yep.
Yeah.
Becky comes out in crutches. She is over AF. They're chanting, she's the man. Which is, by the way, nothing makes me happier than seeing wrestling fans chant that, especially after watching a Raw from '99.
I know, Jesus,
right?
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it's night and day, man. So, what a moment though this was. She beats the shit out of Charlotte with the crutches,
and then she beats the shit out of Ronda with the crutches.
Makes her bleed, bro.
Yeah, right in the head.
Amazing.
No one makes Ronda bleed her own blood.
No, and if they do, I'm pretty sure that person enters a black book of death.
Yeah.
So we're going there, man. So do you think that Becky versus Ronda could main event WrestleMania realistically?
Yes.
I do too,
Only if it's Ronda, though.
As in Ronda. Oh no, actually, there still might be a triple threat.
I think it will be a triple threat.
Yeah.
Because
Ronda can't work heel.
Yeah, and Ronda can't eat the pin.
Yes. Oh, very good point. It's like when they had, remember last year, or maybe the year before, when they had Braun, Kane and Brock for no reason. Kane was in the main event.
but it worked though, and it'll work this time too. But I think it's a good thing. I also think that Charlotte is actually a draw, like more than the fans realize. Like the reason she's getting put in the main event all the time isn't just because she's Ric Flair's daughter. It's because like she's a household name. People care about her. She's got lots of fans, stuff like that.
She looks like a fucking badass, and she's probably on the top 3 women's wrestlers in that roster. So, yeah. And the other 2 are probably the other 2, possibly in the ring.
I do think that Brock will headline Mania though, because I just can't see them breaking from that tradition because it works. And Vince, they don't take risks at Mania, really.
Yeah. The last time Brock didn't main event was like that Rumble match. So he had the Rumble, and then it was the Saudi Arabia show when he won the title in a screw job from back after Roman. No. Oh yeah, no. There's the
The
cage one as
cage one.
well.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
thinking.
this
Yeah.
is the second one where
Oh,
so
against
Roman
Braun.
vacated. Yeah. Yes. And Corbin did the stuff. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Which comes full circle tonight. Oh, sorry, Loki forgot to say that Leo Rush was attacked by Brock Lesnar, not by Brock Lesnar, by
Oh,
Black
by
Lesnar.
Lashley, by Black Lesnar. Yeah.
Yes, post match, thus giving us the idea there's a face turn. More on that later.
Mm.
Yeah, so Ronda was bleeding, and up next comes out Barista Corbin.
Yeah. What did you think of this match?
I think that Baron Corbin knows about a pretty sweet gin bar, but he just won't tell you about it.
He is a fucking. He looks like a fucking bellend.
He does, which is, it works, but it's like, how can you be comfortable wrestling that? Anyways, it doesn't matter. And then Braun comes out, and then they mention the stuff that did happen in Saudi Arabia, which is basically code for we don't know what the fuck to do with these two people. They had feuded once, so let's go with that. Do you think there's a reason why they haven't pulled the trigger on Braun? Because he keeps kind of itching at the main event, and in the space of a year, by the way, he's gone face, heel, face.
It is simply that he just doesn't sell merch and he doesn't draw. Like like he's over with a very small minority who are very loud, and that's it.
But not in the financial sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't go to a house show being like Braun's in the main event.
Yeah, like that's like people are gonna be like, oh, but he's great. Like I know he is great. I fucking love him. He's an absolutely fantastic worker. Like he's so good at that character, whether it's good or bad, like heel or face. But he just doesn't fucking draw as a main eventer, and that's why they're afraid.
Yeah, they're never gonna unless they do it on SmackDown.
Yeah,
because it's like the place where people go to pro. Because the thing about SmackDown is, you can tell that the depth is not there, which means that everything, which is odd because it's the 2-hour show, but you see stuff getting stretched sometimes a little bit, but actually you get to get people over in a different way.
Did you hear anything about them offering the network? Fox wanted Daniel Cormier on commentary for SmackDown.
No, I didn't hear about this. Was this now or when the deal was being done? I don't even know if the deal is done. Must be done.
It was about 3 months ago, I think. It was around the time that he last fought.
Did he do New Japan, maybe? I think he might have commentated maybe in some Redder Wrestling. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But it was around the time of his last UFC fight. So it would have been like, late October, I think, or early November. I'm not too sure.
And I'm guessing they wanted him to be like add a sense of realism.
Yeah, that's what it was. Is that they wanted him to sell the idea of it being like a sports spectacle and not. And that's why,
sports entertainment. Yeah.
When you were saying about this event didn't have a whole lot of comedy in it, I think that's because it was a SmackDown heavy show and. It
was a wink to Fox.
It actually wasn't really a SmackDown heavy show at all, was it?
It was even actually.
Yeah.
Maybe 3-2 because the first match sadly had people from both shows.
Yeah.
Second match was SmackDown. Finn and Leo and Lashley was Raw.
Yeah.
This is Raw, and then the other one's
Ronda,
SmackDown.
Raw.
So
yeah,
and Ronda's Raw. But Becky's from SmackDown, so because the shows are co-branded now as well, which Asuka was figured out of this, which sucks. But it's like there's no point putting her in a match if she has no storyline to go with, and all the women are busy, basically. But interesting to see what she does at WrestleMania as well. Wouldn't mind seeing her fight against old Kairi Sane from NXT maybe, but
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if they would just debut her like that. So, this is a no DQ match. You get a lot of Braun running around, destroying shit and throwing shit. I quite like the fact that he so he went to do his shoulder block on the outside, but Corbin threw the chair, but he caught it, because if you remember against Roman, he just took it right in the face. So that was kind of like an idea. I was like, oh, he's learning, is he? The monster's got thoughts.
Yeah. There's a brain inside that fucking stupid head of his.
Stupid haircut.
Yeah.
And also, only notable thing I mentioned about commentary, because I honestly just muted them out apart from Renee and Corey Graves. which basically means I didn't listen to about 8 other people over the course of the night.
Know, yeah.
And Beth was okay as well. Beth is never bad, but she only did the opening match.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Beth is she doesn't say the wrong thing, so that's good enough these days.
Yeah.
And same for Renee and Corey and not the other people. But yeah, she's like, I love it when he does this. It's like, you love it when Braun Strowman just runs around the ring and fucking clatters and murders someone.
Yeah.
It's a very specific thing to enjoy.
I remembered, I kind of just caught that, but
plant seeds on the big Renee heel turn, mate.
Yeah. She's gonna join the lunatic asylum.
Yeah. First row ticket. She's gonna carry on after Dean leaves.
Yeah.
No Dean Ambrose tonight either. And he's gonna be a jobber, I think, pretty much till he goes now. But yes, we get the strangest group of people that... Yes. By the way, this match wasn't too bad, and once it got going, and then kind of just didn't go anywhere, because not only did the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre, interfere with music, Bobby Lashley then came out.
I had to explain this as I was watching it, and I didn't really have any words other than, yeah, they just don't like that big fella.
They just specifically don't like him. Now, I remember Braun had a thing when he joined Ziggler and Drew, and then that fell apart. This is the brief heel turn. And then that fell apart. And they're calling it back to that, and it's very vague, very like, what do these men have in common? What does this mean for our business? And they all put him through two tables that were stacked from the ring steps, which they put in the ring, which is a cool spot, not gonna lie.
It looked sore as well.
Yeah. Probably better than taking a straight bump on your back, probably.
Yeah.
Even though, it looked sore. So Corbin won. Did he? No, he didn't win.
He did.
He did win.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that with all these interferences.
But that's... Michael Cole said that, I remember, and he actually made a good point. But he shouldn't have fucking said it. He's fucking brutal, that chap. But, like, Corbin just, like, lifted his leg, got the pin, and then Cole is like, oh, and with all this, we forgot there was a match going on. Like, you don't say that, you fucking imbecile.
We say that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're allowed to criticize shit on a deeper level. You're at the company.
He literally did forget, though, because he's fucking thick.
Yeah. He's, I saw a rumor, as of... insert date, but as of February 2019, that they might possibly be looking to phase him out because he's reaching the
climax.
Reaching the climax, the raging climax. No, he's seen as old by Vince McMahon. You know, remember the whole reason why JR was slowly phased out is because Vince thought he was too old, even though Jerry Lawler was older than him.
Jerry Lawler doesn't look old though.
No, but he does look strange.
He does look strange, yeah.
His Lego hair and his and he found King funny anyways. He always liked King on a personal level, so that goes a long way as well. But yeah, there might be rumors of Michael Cole possibly being phased to more backstage sort of situation, and I was like, oh, that's really cool and everything. But fucking Todd Phillips is no better. Is that his name? Todd Grisham?
I actually, Todd Grisham. That's his name. Josh Grisham.
Josh Matthews Grisham.
Josh Matthews, yeah. No, I actually think he is better. Like, he knows fucking more than 2 moves. I think Cole is just irredeemable. I think he is
Cole had one good run, maybe 2 good runs. The original, if you go 2002 SmackDown with Taz, when they had Paul Heyman producing them, that annoyed him so much they used to go, after the shows, they used to go back to the booth and re-record stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and they hated it, but Paul Heyman was like, no, I need you to say this with this inflection. So, if you watch those SmackDown in 2002, because both of them were kind of new at it as well, because Cole did Raws and stuff, but he never did a weekly show always, and Taz was just kind of getting his feet, but they were tightly produced and then post-produced, which made him good. But now it's like he still fucks up on the same things he fucks up.
Yeah, but if you watch the first match of this whole thing, he's like, oh, I'm Bailey now, and Sasha, oh, Carmella, and Naomi.
Yeah.
What are you saying, you fucking... Oh, I can't stand him. I hate him so much.
Because you've got you've got 25 years there of
Prick.
uselessness. Yeah, so you've got different styles of commentary, because I've actually watched some older shit, and Vince McMahon, so when Vince McMahon was a commentator, he was like,
He was the worst one of all of them.
he was just describe what you're seeing.
But not even that. Like not even that. Like you see a sharpshooter and he's like Boston Crab.
He's got him locked. Willie tap. He's moving towards the rope. He grabs the rope. He looks at the rope. He stands up. The Undertaker looks back.
He wipes the sweat from his eye.
Yeah, he spits in my face after I screwed him. And then you've got JR, which would, instead of talking like that, he would talk about things around it and kind of heighten the drama.
Yeah.
And he'd talk about the urgency, and it's like, oh my God, it's not just about winning this match, it's about making a statement, it's about this. And he said it with such conviction that some people probably say the same stuff as JR did, but there's no conviction because they don't believe in it. Because they know that next week on Raw, nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cole, which is like, neither. He's not good at describing because he doesn't know all the moves, and he's also not good at doing the overall arc storyline. Okay, where's this going? What's the situation? What's the sense of urgency? He's not good at that either.
Nah, he's useless.
He's good at plugging the network, and he's good at talking about the app, and that's all they need him for.
Yeah,
that's what he's good at.
Wish he'd get good at dying. Nah, just kidding.
Ooh, wish he'd get good at losing his voice.
Yeah.
Yes. We also saw, weirdly, Lacey Evans walk out for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
What was this?
I don't know.
Where's she going? Said Corey Graves as we cut to break about the Paralympics. Where did she go?
I have no idea. That was a huge source of confusion on my end while I was watching it.
It was just sort of a time restraint. They're like, we need you to go out there and fill 20 seconds.
I don't know, yeah.
It was weird. I don't know, unless they got something figured out, I don't get it. Or maybe this is planting the seeds for, like, the best storyline in wrestling history. And we're just, like, literally bigger than the NWO, bigger than anything. Rock Austin, it starts here.
Undertaker coming back at Judgment Day, it's even better than that.
Like, yeah, the big, like, we just are the Alliance right at the beginning when it was good, or Hogan Rock. We're just missing the pieces because we're dumb marks and we don't know nothing about this business. Yes, main event time.
Yeah.
Got here fucking quick, didn't we?
Yeah.
We have Kofi, AJ, Joe, Orton, Bryan, and who am I missing? Who have I not said? Hardy, Jeff Hardy.
Jeffrey J. Hardy.
Yeah. They're putting over Kofi huge even when he's coming out. Like, he gets a great reaction. They're chanting his name. They show highlights as everyone else comes out, which I thought was pretty cool. As each person comes out, they show what he did against them in the gauntlet match.
I thought it was super cool that they did that.
Yeah, there's like an insert thing. Obviously, he lost to AJ, but like by that point, he'd been wrestling for fucking ages. So they all come out. I fucking love Samoa Joe's entrance.
Yeah, it is a great entrance. I was just about to be really cynical and just say that he hasn't done anything good in WWE as far as I'm concerned. But
you're gonna do a Scott Steiner, but he's fat.
Yeah.
That's like his whole basis for Scott Steiner not liking him. He's fat, and he's fat. Joe
knows he can't have a good match, so he's not even gonna try.
Yeah, the 53% chance to beat me. Joe hasn't done much lately. He had some good shit with AJ.
He did.
That was creepy.
That was the best. He had, I think, one okay match with Roman.
He had a good match with Lesnar as well when he just, remember that mini feud they had at Great Balls of Fire, great name.
Yeah.
Where he just didn't take any shit from Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because I like that, because most people would do the whole I've hit him with a spin kick and he just stands up and they just stare at him like, oh my god. I love the fact they broke that for one person. They've probably done it since with Roman, but they broke it for Joe where he just walked in to try to choke him out and then he choked Paul Heyman out.
Yeah.
As if that sent a statement.
That was actually a really good match.
Really, really good. Just, it's like two horses about to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And Joe can take as well as he gives without hurting someone. So can Lesnar, because he didn't knee him in the face, a la Braun Strowman a year ago.
That was a receipt.
Yeah. Here's your change, buddy. Bam.
Yeah.
I watched that recently. There's something amazing about it that just happens like in a match, you know?
I know.
Just a little
I
punch.
love all the Brock stuff. Like when he TKO'd Randy Orton, like I dig it. I love seeing a man getting split open unnecessarily.
You do most of the time think or know that Brock's gonna win, but usually they find a way of kind of working you how.
Yeah, they do.
Like, it could be a TKO, could be beats the shit out of the person, could be choke him out, could be hit a finisher. There's levels to it, which I don't think will be fully appreciated until he leaves wrestling.
You could get and a Goldberg match could happen as well.
Yes.
2 moves.
Yes. Over and over. A couple of Germans in there as well, so 3.
No, I mean the Survivor Series one.
Oh my god, yes! Oh, I thought you meant the Mania one, which is basically Survivor Series times copy and paste.
Yeah.
Control C, Control V, mate, I say. And that was well received, wasn't it?
It was.
That wasn't sarcasm, it actually was.
Yeah, even like the marks went crazy because it was a surprise. That's the thing, you can swerve and get the surprise.
And then the same people were like, don't do that to Kevin Owens, though. It was not funny.
Yeah.
But that the Jericho shit, so, we move on. So, Daniel Bryan cuts a little promo when he calls people fickle, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of unnecessary, but I guess like he's doing such a great job of getting people to boo him. You kind of just gotta let him work.
He's doing his best to be just as over as a character as he is as a wrestler, which is very, very good. Because if you notice the whole match, well, especially when it starts off with Brian and Joe after they get rid of old Lukey. Luke, don't touch my vegan shit, Harper.
Who looks like he ate Luke Harper. I cannot get over the size of it. Or fucking Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan. God, I always get them confused. Yeah, Eric, this is Rowan, not Luke.
The fucking size of the man.
Yeah, it's because he's in normal clothes as well, because he usually wears those overalls, which...
He's not being confined by the overalls. He's free.
It's weird to be like, sometimes overalls can be quite good on a man. And they can hide all sorts, which I didn't think that would be possible.
Yeah.
But there you go. Yeah, he looks weird, but yeah, I mean, it made sense for Brian to have like someone like a follower with him if he thinks himself as some sort of savior of the masses. Always good to have at least one follower. Straight
edge society, man.
Yeah, 2019 for sure. And I love the fact they announce him still as the new Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
I think the way I see it, he's probably thinking, there's always a chance I could get hurt again and I could have to retire again, or my neck or my back or my concussions thing. Like, I'm going to go all out and be the heel that I've always wanted to be in the mainstream, wrestling promotion while I still can. And they probably just went, fuck the whole nostalgia comeback. Like, we're just going to go full steam with what you want to do as long as it gets heats and rating and stuff. So I like the belt. I think the belt looks fucking great. Only on him, obviously.
I fucking hate it.
I think it looks awesome, all made of wood like. That's something you could have around the house and people would be like, oh, it's a nice belt.
It looks like the fucking Punjabi prison match.
As a belt. The Punjabi prison belt. Yeah, so you get to the match and you get a lot of Joe trying to chase Brian, few submissions, the chops these two lads did on each other.
Yeah,
oh my days.
His chest was fucking red raw after it.
Oof, fuego red. Do you think these two could have a match at WrestleMania? It would be good. Like, I don't think it would be bad. Like, because Joe and Brian could work. Obviously.
I don't think it would be bad. I just don't see it happening.
No, just because they haven't done much with Joe, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yes, so vicious chops, and then we get Kofi Kingston coming in. New Day over AF. He does a lot of kicks and flying things.
Yeah.
Eventually we get Brian. He hides on top of the chamber.
Yeah, that was good.
I've never thought of that. Why didn't someone just do that? Just sit there at the top.
Yeah.
Very Road Dogg in that one Royal Rumble where he just fucking laid on the ground like a little worm and hugged the rope. Yeah, so again, for this whole match, I was enjoying how much Bryan was telling a story. I don't think it's dumb to be, he's telling a story with his body and his mannerism, but he really was.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. We get a dive, like Kofi kind of just falls backwards from the top of the mesh part of the cage. That was pretty funky. We then have AJ Styles coming out, and when AJ Styles came out, I just wrote, "The game is about to get flat, baby." Earth is about to change.
Yeah. Eddie Bravo is marking out.
Eddie Bravo, that's my boy.
Eddie Bravo's on Joe Rogan's show the other day talking about how space is fake.
It's a gimmick now, isn't it? I know he believes it in himself, but like...
Yeah, it is a gimmick, yeah.
It has to be a gimmick. Like, you're telling me that no one sat this man down and went, right, let's get some facts onto your brain.
I've seen him... I don't want to get into it, actually, because I just get too fucking angry.
No, just give me the short version.
I've seen him debate actual fucking scientists. And
where?
When I say debate...
On Joe Rogan's show?
Nah,
okay.
He was at some fucking science panel or some shit, and they're like explaining gravity and all this shit, and he's like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Fucking dinosaurs.
Science? What?
Yeah. He's a player.
So he's he doesn't have any attention span, I suppose.
Nah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the worst thing is because obviously with Joe there's kind of like a confinement of what you can be silly because Joe's allowing you to be silly, but it's like once you project that shit into like the real world, then it's kind of like not as funny, I suppose. Yeah. I don't even know if it's meant to be funny.
Watch his episode with Tom DeLonge.
I can't talk about that.
Blink-182.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I watched it after a night of a few tokes and smokes, and
you believed everything he said.
I thought, man, he knows something. Side note, like, why would you come on and tell me all these people that you've met, Tom DeLonge, and then be like, but I can't go into that? Someone did a compilation, didn't they, of him just going, I can't get into that. No, I can't talk about that, man. And just cuts back to Joe just like going, okay.
And he most recently had Travis Barker on, and they didn't fucking talk about Blink-182 either. So hopefully he gets Mark Hoppus on one day and talks to him about fucking growing carrots or whatever types of fucking shit.
He was a host, so he's probably the most sort of TV ready and conversationalist of the three these days. So he might probably be the best one.
He's like a really, really, really great guy.
Yeah, he's like a nice person.
Yeah, I like every time I see him, I'm like, that there's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was the soul of Blink-182.
Yeah,
and the other two were just like the other two were kind of just like the other types of people you get at a certain age, you know.
Travis is just a straight up California stoner.
He's a dude. He's a bro.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
He's not even a stoner. He's actually just... Because he didn't even smoke weed anymore. He's just a dude. And then Tom DeLonge is a fucking Fruit Loop.
He's like the other dude that doesn't hang out with all the dudes, but sometimes you speak to him because he might have something mad and interesting to say.
He'll be hanging out with the dudes who are saying that Bigfoot is real.
Yeah. But he's the one who says he's got proof. He's like, you guys think I'm joking. Like, I've seen shit. Now, but he's been dead into aliens for ages. Like, this isn't a new thing. He's just Blink. Yeah. And he's been in and around talking about it, like, researching, and he obviously might have mentioned that in that podcast, that he put a lot of his own money into it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he can't really talk about what he's doing or what he's doing it for or with, you know? And if it's one of those where it feels like, buy my book, join this website, pay my patron, join this community.
What is it? It's buy stock in my company, isn't it? That's actually what he's...
That was it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those, unfortunately. But anyways, there's an Elimination Chamber on.
What we should have done was just ended the podcast and gone, yeah, well, who knows? Let's find out next week on Blink-182, and then just end it. Never talk about the Chamber.
And Daniel Bryan gets the pin. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they talk about how Vince told AJ to get his animal instinct. I don't know if you saw this clip, but he slapped Vince in the face.
Yeah, that was before the last thing.
That's
Wasn't
right, before the Rumble.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that. Why? Why? Why is he slapping I probably said that even after the Rumble. Why is he slapping a 75-year-old man? What?
Because
Good
it's
comes from
David
that.
versus
Goliath. Ah, of course, yeah. David needs to bitch slap Goliath every now and then.
That's right.
Get Goliath back in his place. But apparently that makes you better at wrestling. I don't know. So yeah, Daniel Bryan was climbing up the little chain mesh section again. He gets a phenomenal forearm. They say to the neck, but it's more to the shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking hard to like angle anything on point when you're flying around.
But they could have said shoulder. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, no, mate. It has to be the neck or the head.
If it wasn't the neck, why is he selling? Like, it was a shoulder. You just brush it off, mate.
Yeah.
Joe does the coquina clutch, and Kofi does the old Bret Hart reversal. You know, when they climb up the rope, and he does the sort of the roll over. Joe then reverses that, but then catches a forearm, so Samoa Joe is the first one eliminated.
Thank God.
See ya, Joe. Please give something to this man. This man needs a storyline. Because otherwise people won't care.
Yeah, because I don't care.
You don't care.
I'm fucking
but it's not because
sick
he's
of
a
the
bad
sight
wrestler.
Nah,
he does nothing.
You
There's
know,
yeah.
back in the TNA days, I was all about Samoa Joe. When I heard he was coming to the Fed, I was like, hell yeah, give me some of that. But he's fucking bad in the Fed, and that's just, it is what it is.
You've got to pick and choose his moments, which is a shame because he can have a lot of moments. But then again, you can say the same about TNA, where like his run reached a peak, came in, he won the X Division title.
Remember
He
the
won all
fucking
the
X
belts.
Division. It's like, you have to be 165 pounds or under, or Samoa Joe.
Do you know who else is a former X Division champion?
Probably fucking Al Snow or something retarded.
Abyss.
Oh, gee. Oh, I knew that, actually.
During the Immortal era?
I think you told me that.
Yeah, it was when they had when he was heel Hogan and heel Bischoff and heel drugged up Jeff Hardy. The glory days of wrestling, if you ask me.
Absolutely. That's the real Monday Night Wars.
Yes, and then after Joe is eliminated, the 6-week war. Yeah, the summer holiday war.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been 2 months, whatever. Yeah, so then Jeff Hardy comes out. Now, who would have thought that out of the people that were in the original TLC match, the TLC 6, and all the things we've gone through, because each one of them, maybe apart from Christian and the Dudley, so actually half of them, have gone through a lot of ups and downs in life, in their careers, and injuries, and maybe even the Dudleys, I suppose, to an extent, all sorts. Who would have thought that Jeff Hardy would be the last man standing, wrestling in a main event in February 2019?
Yeah. He's really for how old
Crazy.
he is and how much damage he's done to himself and all of his struggles with addiction and all that stuff, like, he looks fucking great.
Yeah, he looks... I mean, the paint helps, obviously, but even when he's not wearing paint, that dude is very lucky that he hasn't seemed to age more than, 6 years or 10 years in about 20-year span, which includes a lot of fucked up ups and downs, you know?
Yeah, he's very lucky that he's still alive.
Yeah, it's great to see it, though. And, once again, with the recurring theme of I don't know if I can do that many swantons.
Yeah.
I can't really get that much bend on it. He fucking did one to AJ from the top of the thing to the top rope.
He did, but I noticed his time was very short in the chamber, which made sense.
Yeah. Yes, he's not taking... I guess if he's doing the bumps, I suppose he doesn't have to take them as much. So, yeah, he was then eliminated. I think it was right after he did that move, by the way.
Yeah. He ate the running knee straight after.
That's right. It gets boom, 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 done, see ya, and here comes Blandy Blorton.
Randall Keith Orton.
The man who puts the O in RKO.
Yes.
It's true. He puts the big O. He does. You can't just have a finisher called RK, Randy Keith.
No, that would make no sense.
No, duh. Yeah, so he comes out and that match fucking slows down.
Oh, yeah.
So they mentioned
Slithers around the ring
like a
like
little
a
filthy
sex
snake,
offender.
like Val Venus can only dream of.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they mentioned the Kingston and Randy feud. Do you remember that about 10 years ago?
They said these guys have got a lot of history. They had like a few Oh, yeah, yeah.
That feud was long as fuck, bro. That went on for like 4 months, but then
Oh, did it?
Kofi kept fucking up, and Orton kept not making that very.
It was
He
not
wasn't
very
subtle.
understanding.
He was not very subtle about it in the
Yeah,
ring. Stupid and saying shit like that.
yeah.
Because I think there's one particular spot where Kofi
We
was meant to stay down for the punt.
we reviewed that, didn't we?
No, I don't think we've touched 2008.
No, but we reviewed an Orton versus Kofi match, definitely.
Yeah, it was like a
And
random Raw match when
yeah,
Kofi won
and Orton went
clean.
fucking ballistic.
Yeah, and Orton was champion. That's
He beat the shit out of Cena's dad.
naturally, yeah. Royal Rumble 2014.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah, it's a good review. Yeah, he did that, which he also did that like 10 years before that too, when he beat up John Cena's dad and he punted him. So, if it ain't broke, punt Cena's dad.
That's right.
I say. Yes, they talked about that. It's funny because I think that's like the reason why Kofi's push just immediately ended. And it was like, right, you're nothing more than Intercontinental now. See ya. And the Royal Rumble spots guy. You might occasionally get a main event match like this.
Or if a Boston Marathon bombing happens, we'll give you the US belt.
Yes. That's a very specific instance. I'm sure if they're saying that to them like 2009.
Yeah, it's crazy that it actually happened after they planned specifically for it.
Yeah, well, were WWE in on it, you'd have to tune in to certain websites.
Infowars.com.
Dark websites to find out the connection. I think George Soros worked for WWE at some point. Could be wrong.
It's the hug and sock connection.
It's the hug and Soros connection, mate. All of that was a joke. Just so people eventually don't listen to this. Oh, okay. 50% of that was a joke. The other 50% gonna sue you.
Yeah.
If you slander him about this. So, AJ goes to do another phenomenal forearm and gets an RKO for his troubles.
It was nice. Not the kind of smooth transition you usually get. Instead, he let it hang for a minute and then did it, but still good to see.
It was like a two-step RKO.
Yeah.
As opposed to just a straight drop.
Yeah.
If you notice, Randy Orton didn't take a lot of bumps here either.
Yeah, he did fuck all. The useless cunt.
Yeah. I'm sure he must be winding down, I guess.
He is 71 years old. He just doesn't look it.
He has 72 years of wrestling experience as well. It's crazy. He's another, back in the day when we used to, moan about the headlocks. Obviously, nothing much has changed.
Yeah.
That man can do a power slam, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't do a very good one in this match. He tried to, but he ended up just doing, a no-armed belly-to-belly suplex.
He did a plex.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, and all the headlocks and all that shit people used to complain about. It's he'll be wrestling until about 2030 if he wants to.
Yeah.
His knees are fine, his back is fine, unless he gets, a devastating injury. He's fine. It's like him and Kane. They take the safest bumps.
There's a phrase I came up with about Randy Orton that I've coined, and it's basically, if you were to, organically generate a superstar from scratch, it would look just like Randy Orton.
He would, yes.
Came
what
up
year?
With that myself.
What year would that be?
Every year.
Every year. I would say 2006 Orton. Suspended Orton, shitting on people's bags Orton.
Yeah, that's
the perfect. The perfect man has been created. Don't look at him; he's currently shitting in the Divas bag. But
I was trying to explain to my girlfriend that he's a bit of a bad boy, but I just couldn't bring myself to tell her that he shits in Divas bags. So instead, I was like, he likes Donald Trump.
And he smiles when he sees a bag without shit in it, and he goes, "It's good that. I like that."
He's
Pretty
like,
good.
no, he sees one without it, and he's like, I have a job to do. I know it has
I hear voices.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta do it. It's coming.
Oh,
Just
Jesus.
drinks like a massive like jar of coffee. Oh god, I
massive,
gotta go.
a massive jug of fight milk.
Fight milk, yeah. Yes, and just shits for days. I accidentally called Kofi Kofo at this point in my notes. That's pretty cool. Kofi Kingston. He
He
eliminates
puts the O in RKO
He
and
puts
the
the O
O
in
in Kofo.
Yeah, he eliminates Orton. So we're now down to Brian and
Kofo.
yeah, boy Kofo.
Yeah.
So SOS, Brian kicks out. The crowd is going fucking mental for Kofi. Like, we all knew he wasn't gonna win, but when he kicked out of the first knee, it was one of those like, oh shit.
Yeah, we might be about to see something. But then he dove headfirst into the pot.
Oh, we're not about to see much.
Yeah.
Eventually, they found themselves
stranded atop the pod.
As you do. And I thought that Kofi was going to go for the boom boom leg drop. And I was like, oh my god, please don't do it because your tailbone will be hurting forever.
Your tailbone will come out of your spine.
Yeah, little known fact, boys and girls and men and women and people, everybody, everywhere, everything. Do not do a leg drop ever in wrestling. That's a move wrestling does not need. So Hulk Hogan did a leg drop, only off the ground. Like what, 4 feet up in the air maybe, because he kind of just went down quite quickly. Man needed hip surgery after doing that for 20 years.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy once did a leg drop from the top of the cage. Don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
To Edge, he completely tore his fucking ass up.
Yeah. X-Pac did that with the Bronco Buster one time.
Yeah, literally, yeah. There you go. So don't do leg drops and maybe keep an eye out for the old Bronco Busters. Which Naomi and Carmella did.
Yeah, and Michael Cole announced it as Naomi and Carmella.
What a match.
Oh, he's just useless cunt.
He loves a name. He loves to name people. My name is Cole, and I love to name. And then he comes out with the Irish music. Yeah, so I was really lost. I was like freaking out. Please don't do the leg drop. Please don't do. He didn't do the leg drop. I was like, yes, do not do that finisher.
And
Fandango.
Out more for that than anything else. Oh yeah, Fandango did a leg drop. 2 years later, AIDS.
AIDS. Yeah, 2 years later, they changed his song.
Yeah.
Yes. See, there's nothing good coming out of leg drops. Hulk Hogan did a leg drop. Sex tape. Racist. Sex tape. Folks, just don't do it.
Yeah.
All the best don't. Yeah, he did kind of a splash at the end, which just worked much better. And then Brian gets him up, runs back to the corner, hits the new knee from the new Daniel Bryan, and he wins.
The new hemp belt.
He retains. He doesn't win anything. He retains. And that's the only belt. I know him and Ronda didn't change hands, to be fair. So those 2 belts didn't change hands.
Yeah, first 3 matches had 3 new champions.
Yeah, that's pretty funky. I mean, I feel like the titles have been. There's so many that they probably changed. Like they had a new cruiserweight champion on and a new U.S. champion as well at Royal Rumble. New Intercontinental champion, technically. No, it was on this show. What am I talking about? I was like, oh, that happened last week. But Bobby hasn't had it for that long either. That's why I'm confused. I thought the match was fucking great.
Yeah, it was It was like obviously the match of the night, but it's the kind of thing that I feel like only SmackDown could achieve right now because of the roster that they have.
Agreed.
The idea to leave Kofi there till the end was obviously them recognizing the momentum that he has and just doing a really good job to capitalize on it. So,
and then post match as well. Did you like what they did?
What did they do?
They kept the camera on Kofi for like.
Oh yeah, and the New Day came out and.
Yeah, that's like the sort of the big, because they could have just cut with Brian going, bah, 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 I won, fuck off. But they actually kept the camera on. They did the post match sort of like everyone giving him props as well, got standing ovation.
Yeah.
They played his music as well. And then they obviously cut the music and they had like a proper ovation and they ended the show. And man, Kofi Kingston has become like the topic of wrestling over the last like 6 days.
Yeah, it's great.
It's crazy what you can do with stuff like that. I really do hope they don't drop the ball on him. I'm not saying he has to main event WrestleMania. Possibly might have main event for Fastlane, but keep up the momentum, man.
Can you imagine telling one of the nerds like 7 years ago that you would be watching a main event with champion Daniel Bryan against challenger Kofi and you'd be cheering for Kofi?
Ooh, yeah, I think from Bryan's debut, you probably couldn't say that.
Yeah.
to now, retirement phase thing with Kane and the thing with AJ, and yeah, you couldn't, and that's why wrestling is still the best thing and the weirdest thing, because you're right. But then again, you couldn't be like, oh, what do you think Ronda Rousey will do in the World Wrestling Entertainment Company? Like, the fuck? She's a fighter. Like, it's mad and it's cool. I really enjoyed this show. But it was, pretty much like a 7 out of 10 because it wasn't 5 hours and because it only had 6 matches, or 5 technically.
Yeah, I agree. Like great entertainment the whole way through, but yeah, just not really amazing.
Yes,
but it was
bridges
good.
the gap
Yeah,
to WrestleMania.
absolutely.
So we're on the final stop because that is WrestleMania. I'm going to remember that as well. And every time they say it, tweet.
Someone will pull me up and be like, "Yeah, but they mean stops, whereas that's the final destination." But I don't give a bollocks. They can eat my dick. As far as I'm concerned, WrestleMania is the last stop. Otherwise, it makes no fucking sense.
Exactly. Otherwise, are you telling me that fucking Extreme Rules is the final stop then? It actually is. It's the rematch one, so it might be.
Yeah.
Yes, hope you enjoyed Elimination Chamber. We might be looking at Fastlane. We'll definitely have a WrestleMania, possibly a predictions video, definitely a review.
We should do a predictions one.
It's the only one worth doing predictions for because it's statements get made. Statements get made.
Yeah,
Careers will be changed. Sorry.
The one we did last time was really good. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
I'm pretty sure we both hit a sort of like 50% or just over 50%.
Yeah.
So, can't go wrong with that. Between us, you got 100%. So, pretty good. But yes, so on the next episode, we will be reviewing the highest rated episode of Raw of all time. Most viewed of all time. It got an 8.1, and this was the Raw on May 10th, 1999. At the height of the corporate ministry, you've got a lot of wackiness, a lot of segments.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of Parison, a lot of Mean Street Posse. And then we're also going to be looking at the highest rated episode of Nitro of all time, which is the August 31st, 1998 episode. At El De Niro's request.
Yep.
Begged me to review Nitro.
He says request, he means demand.
Demand. He's got a list of demands, just like Saul Williams. And that will be a lot of fun as well.
What a fucking random reference.
There you go.
Saul Williams. That's not even from... it is from The Inevitable Rise and Liberation of Niggy Stardust, isn't it?
It might be just before or just after.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
It's the... However it's the one that Rick Rubin produced, like Amethyst Rockstar, whatever it's called. List of demands, and then in brackets reparations.
Yeah, great fucking song, isn't it?
That's the one that nobody listening to this has ever heard of.
No, if it didn't get copyright stricken, I was gonna be like, yeah, end it with that, but it wouldn't allow it. I'm pretty sure Saul Williams has got a Vivo, so. But hey, check him out. He's awesome. Yes, we're going to be reviewing a wacky episode of... I say wacky. WCW is never not wacky.
Yes.
But we get to see them, in theory, presenting the best they can deliver, or at least the most popular. I suppose same with Raw. It's not necessarily the best. It's just what's most popular.
Yeah.
As two men who sit on the fringe of society, it will be nice to check out the absolute peak of wrestling at a point when ratings, you can argue they will never ever be the same, and it was the peak. It was the riding the wave of popularity of wrestling and South Park and all those cool, edgy 90 things, brah. And that should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to talking about that.
Yeah, and don't worry if you haven't seen it. You don't need to have watched it to join us.
No, it's fine. And if anything, like this will Maybelline. This will maybe get people to go back and watch some of the stuff in this era because
you can pay that subscription for the fucking.
You might
network.
as well use it. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're rinsing that shit.
Yeah.
And then from then on, we'll be reviewing every WCW pay-per-view from 1991 through to the one that ended it, Sin or whatever it was called.
Sin, Jesus.
Yeah. They were going to go with the 7 deadly sins, and then they never got past calling it Sin. I know, I think it's called like Sin Greed. I think one of them was called Sin, maybe one was called Greed.
I think Greed is actually the last one. It's got Scott Steiner on the cover of it.
Yeah, and he was the last champ, so that would make sense. But we're not talking about that anyways. But yes, so I guess it's time to sign out then.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, and we may see you for Fastlane, we may not.
Yes, we're on the road to Mania. Good night.
Peace.
And I won't be denied, 'cause all I've got left is my pride. And I will rise up, break it out, break it down, break it rules, break it ground. And your chance, now it's gone, a new day,